we go. That
Here,
looks like
that
right.
looks better. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's the new course. It's super
Yeah.
easy, we promise.
So you'll see the instructor here at the bottom, like I originally thought. And I apologize. I thought I was well rested. Apparently, I'm not as well rested as I thought I was.
She had like
Okay.
a 52-hour weekend,
Yeah.
is what they just put in for the conference that they were just at. So,
With like zero sleep.
yeah.
It's been crazy.
Yeah.
So you'll click new
God bless
course.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
800
Um,
conversations in 3 days. Go.
Yes, exactly. You're going to do your course title here. One of the key things to do is to make sure that your course title at the beginning, like if you're going to put something super long, come in here and edit this because it's going to be the same thing. You don't want your Google search to be super long, you're going to want it to be truncated here. So just put the main words here because this is what the actual URL is going to be, and that's what Google will search for. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So this title can be whatever you want it to be. That's what'll show up on that screen that we showed you where it had like the CLT and that kind of stuff. But just truncate it for down here. Your description goes here, and this is where you can add those medias like what we had where you saw like the course schedule and our scope and sequence. You do all that through right here, and you do the main description here. If you want a feature, let me pull this up. So if you want hybrid program, this picture here on your page, like this, that is going to be this picture here, your featured picture, your intro, who you are and why you created the course. You could put that and it would be with that feature video. You're going to put your price, whether you want to start it out with a free one or you go straight to a paid one, you have that option. If you click paid, you have a one-time purchase only. For instance, for ours, $1,200 one time. Or you can set it up with subscription or one time. So a subscription breaks it down, and I'll bring that up for you. Our subscriptions start 6 monthly payments of $200 each or two payments of $600 each. You can set this up however you'd like and offer different subscriptions, and it automatically bills them. Or they can select the one-time purchase, pay the full $1,200. Um, and then under your categories, um, if you need a new category, we can add that in here by doing this, and then we'll approve the category. Like if you wanted to do Bible leadership or, a couple of different terms, you can do that. You can add several terms that might um, be able to be searched for your specific course. You don't want public course. Public course means that anybody can just log in and look at what you have. So keep that off. Question and answer is if you want to allow them to post questions to the classroom and allow either you or class members to answer. Content drip is going to be what we discussed where you show it. So you can do schedule the course content by date, current availability after so many days of enrollment, course content sequentially. So they have to finish one and it moves on, or unlocked after finishing prerequisites. If you require they have a prerequisite and then it opens everything. So that's what that is. Enrollment, how many students are you going to allow? When does the enrollment expire? And what is the enrollment period if you want an enrollment period? Like if you want them, um, for instance, you want it, even if let's say you wanted them to sign up today, but the class doesn't start for 3 months. They can sign up today because you only allow 10 kids in the class, but the class doesn't start until such and such a date. That's how this is used. Any questions thus far?
No.
Okay, so we're also going to follow up with you and send you this recording, Clint. And we'll
Yeah.
also follow up with you with a document that kind of walks you through each step as well. So Ava will be shooting that out to you within the week or so.
Oh,
Okay, when we click next, go ahead.
Yeah.
do y'all have a cancellation policy?
Oh, good question.
What what do you mean by cancellation policy? Like if they sign up
So
and then they decide not to
signs
do
up
it?
for the class they started and then they say, I don't want to do it. Or something happened in their family and they're like, we can't do it anymore.
Right. That's entirely up to you. If you want to list it um as a, once you've signed up, you're done, then that's up to you. You can list that in your course description. We will follow whatever you want. So I definitely, recommend doing the course content drip by week. If you are afraid that maybe they're going to sign up, get the information, and then cancel, it would behoove you to go ahead and do that content drip so that
Yeah.
they have to stay through it for the 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 3 months, whatever it is that you're looking to process.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when we add
We're
our
looking at
topic, go ahead.
it is 16-week fit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
It's going to be a drip. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So here, this is where you're going to add title. You're going to say module 1 or chapter 1. And then you're going to add the summary. You can add I'm sure I think you said you already have it together through AI. Copy and paste that little summary of chapter 1 in here. And then you start adding lessons. You added quizzes or assignments. You want them to go read, Luke chapter 3 and Mark chapter 6. You can put that in here. You want to add a little quiz to see if they're retaining what they're doing. And you continue on. So you need to add another topic. This might be chapter 2. And so it flows pretty easily as you go through. So let's see, chapter 1 summary. And then you hit OK. And once you hit OK, that's when the lessons become active. So you can add your lessons, you can add your videos, your images, all of that kind of your upload, your documents if you want them to have a document. If you want them to have a short preview of the lesson, you can do that, or you can just leave this closed and it won't let them see anything until that time period has opened.
As you do this more, it becomes easier, but it's very user friendly in the way that it flows, I found.
Yeah.
So, like Stacy's
Yes.
saying, that topic, and then it's just kind of overwhelming at first because you're going, I don't know where to start. So, you just kind of have to start by starting. And then as you build it, you'll add more. You'll find yourself adding more and changing some things, and that's okay. The parents and kids aren't going to know either way because they're just doing what you're putting out, and there's a whole lot of grace in this process. So as you have questions, just make sure, refer to that document, and then we're always available.
Yep. And then you'll want to save as a draft as you're working on it. When you've got it completely done, you can submit it. When it submits, it comes to us for approval. So we then look in here to make sure there's nothing that stands out that we think is inappropriate or not on grade level. And if we feel that it's okay, then on our end, we just go ahead and okay it and it becomes live. But as long as you submit it as draft, we're going to see that you're still working on it, and we know not to worry about anything until you're ready to go live.
So
But
it's like a shared. Does this offer like a shared document your feedback?
our feedback, if we have feedback, most likely we would be in contact with you.
Okay.
Yeah, we
I
would
have
just
another
contact you directly, call you, or if it's something minimal, we might send you an email.
Email, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I
for the most part, it's on our end, it's probably just going to be okayed, and then you'll get an email saying that your class went live.
So I have a question. If so, this um, our plan was to have it be where he would have a video, teach the lesson, then they'd have assignments, and then the parents would correct the assignments.
Yeah.
So we have answer keys. Where would that, like, is there a way to have the answer keys go in where the kids don't have access?
No. What you can do is upload attachments, and when you upload attachments, you'll see here on the about course. Let me see if I can get a different one open.
Oh yeah, where it shows the
Because
different tabs up there.
yes, because
Yeah.
there's different tabs. There's once you start adding things, there's other tabs that come up through here. One is
Mhm.
announcements. Like, so if you make an announcement to the class, like, hey, I'm adding a 17th week. If you're interested, it'll be there. Or, I'll be available on Zoom live next Thursday from 6 to 8 if anybody wants to pop on and talk about it or anything like that. It emails them and it posts the announcement right here on the class page. Also, next to it, it'll say attachments, and any of the attachments that you list here are going to be listed in that attachment list. You can put your answer keys on there, and then just either A, you're dealing right now, if your goal is high schoolers, hopefully we have some honesty with the high schoolers, and you can say, don't look at it, it's there for your parents, type of a thing, and hope that they do that. Or you could put a notice, parents, if you want us to email you directly the answer keys to a different email address, let us know,
Yeah.
type of a thing.
Okay.
So that was a great
No,
question. Thank you.
it is user friendly. I mean, it, come back to Bonnie, your statement. You know, the fortunately the use of AI and this program we're using is really helping making the transition from the curriculum to the actual lesson very simple.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
That's been the holdup this whole time.
I taught preschool, so doing high school level, I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm lost.
yeah.
Oh,
And
Oh, you and I are like
so,
opposites. If I had to come up with a preschool lesson, I would be like in the dark, like don't eat glue, kids. So I get it. I get it. Yeah.
yep, it's time, and
absolutely.
it's time for this. Anyway,
Awesome. We're totally
Yeah.
excited to have you guys on board. It's a lot less intimidating once you put your eyes on it because you can do everything as you have availability. Like we can't stress that enough. We're not giving you any time frames. This is completely up to you. We have the platform. We're happy to I advertised it at the Michigan conference just as a class that was up and coming. So there's no pressure there. There was no time frame with it. Um, and it's very fluid. So
And the
like I
nice
said,
thing,
oh, go ahead.
no, it's okay. I was just going to say, and the nice thing about if you are going to do the content trip based on date, it gives you a little time. So if you have a 16-week course,
Yeah.
when you first put it up, if you could have maybe the first 4 or 5 weeks already listed, and then that gives you like, hey, each week I can list one more week, and you're 5 weeks ahead at all times.
That makes sense
yeah,
as you build up to it this summer. And I really recommend doing a quick 30-minute free course over the summer. Just offer it. That'll give you practice on building the course, like how easy
Yeah.
it is. And then it'll also kind of, like I said, it'll whet people's appetites. Who are you? Like an introduction. I did that with the dissection class and I ended up having repeats, people coming back. And I love science, so it was easy. Do something that you're passionate about, that's easy, that you can dialogue with kids or however you want to set it up. And you can record it and then you can continue to play it over the summer for free. Like we can keep it up on the site and you don't have to keep coming back. It just stays there with your content and people get to go and instead of it being live, they get to see it's pre-recorded for their kiddos because they're always looking for good things over the summer. That 1.5 hour stretch where you're like, just before dinner, oh, I can go to GCE and see what they have for my kiddo. So I'm not encouraging you to make this course free by any stretch of the imagination, just like an introduction to it that would be interesting and fun. And, this is what we're doing. And I don't know, you can play with that. It can be completely unrelated. Maybe there's another passion that you have, but just to get yourself familiar with what you're doing. We always kind of encourage a quick little 30-minute free companion introduction course to the long haul. And then that lets kind of people understand where you're coming from and who you are and familiarity. And it's good. It's a good thing. It builds relationship to go into the next phase of what you're doing.
Sure.
At least that's what we found. So just something to consider, make it fun, make it easy. It's your passion, and that will come across as the kids and parents start partnering with you.
Since there's a required text, where do I put that in this program? I guess it's.
Is it going to be something you have them download, or is it going to have something they have to purchase through Amazon, or
They
how?
have to purchase through Amazon. It's the book.
Okay. Yeah. So if you look at, for instance, ours, this is a picture of the books that we require that they purchase.
Okay.
So this is the thing here, and we tell them, it'll be live interactive classes 1 day a week. We just lay it out for them. So what you would do would be put a picture of the front of the book and then offer a link to it to however you want them to purchase it. So that they know this is what they have to do to be able to participate in the class.
Yeah.
Like here on that last page that we didn't really get to go over, this here stuff, a course by GCE, materials included, requirements, audience, that's all on that last page right here. What will I learn? Target audience, total course duration, materials included, and requirements. So you could then again repeat. Repetitive is good. Repeat that they would have to purchase the book through however, and if you have multiple different ways for them to purchase, then you could list those multiple ways.
Yeah. All right.
Awesome. You guys have great questions. Do you have any other questions about how to get it going?
Well, is that it?
That's it. Then you submit it when you're ready. Yeah, exactly. It's not that, it really is like when you have Stacy walking you through it, it's not that bad.
Yeah. Yeah. So the next one would be, cost suggestions, pricing so that it's accessible to the masses, but yet, doesn't give away its value.
Right. Well, one of the, and I don't have it with me. One of the things that we do, there's a really, really successful lady. I actually didn't realize it, but my kids took one of her classes right when she started, like about 12 years ago. And so when I saw this article came up in the news and I was like, oh, I know that lady. And so I read the article. Well, the article ended up being that she had started teaching what a paragraph is, how to put sentences together to make a paragraph. It was very simple, very easy. And when my kids were little, I had her take in the class because the class was like, I don't know, it was like $10 a kid, and it was like 2 weeks of just simple basic paragraph stuff. She makes, and her article was like, I did this over the summer for the first year virtually free. I made no money whatsoever, but I got so many kids involved that she ended up actually, if I remember correctly, her first 3 classes had 0 people show up. 0. But she's like, I'm going to continue on because once somebody comes in here, I'm going to grow. So her first class ended up with 1 kid. The first class that she actually had a kid, she had 1 kid. Her next class ended up with 30 because that kid went back to their co-op and said, this class is amazing on teaching little kids how to do paragraphs. They came back with like 30 kids the next week for the next class. And she just grew from there. Here she goes. This article came out maybe 3 years ago, if I remember correctly. So we're talking, 10 years from her first class to her last class. I mean, till the day the article was made. And I want to say that if I remember correctly, she was making $12,000 a month off of that class now. And she does absolutely nothing. She said she pre-recorded over the summer. She just kept recording all of her classes. And then she took those classes, edited the best ones. And now all of her classes are like $10, $15 and pre-recorded. It's just the kids watch it and they do it and people just keep flocking to it. And she's making like 12,000 a month now, by doing nothing but just listing the class. So not that you want to necessarily start with $5 because you're not doing a 1 or 2 week course, but just that thought process to keep in mind that this is something, if the Lord's going to grow it, that may not see a lot of fruit right away immediately, but there's benefits to giving it away to people to get the word out, to get people growing with it. And once they start growing with it, to then building the cost into it then.
Yeah,
If
like
that makes sense.
our Liberty University girl, she super sweet girl, loves debate. It's her passion. It's easy for her to talk about. She built out her courses. She charged what, Stace, $10 a class?
Mhm.
And so she ended up having, 10 to 15 families in her class come through. And she made a good little chunk of change over the summer because it was $10 per kid per class. She was really good at it. So she kept drumming up. She had a sphere of influence within her peer group because she had done classical education. So she had, the group of kids and moms that she was familiar with.
Mhm.
She did a quick blast out on Facebook and Instagram, let people know about it, advertised, and she was off and running. And that's what we want to function as, is this platform, a hub community where people can see what's going on and just, grab and go, whatever they need. It's
Right.
a buffet. Like, this is what I need this week. Maybe I'm not going to be involved this week, but next week my kid needs it. And summer's a really good time to do those quick express classes. Even like an introduction to your course that doesn't give all of the information away, but here's $5, $10 discipleship. Parents are always looking for stuff like that over the summer. But like I said, that's totally up to you. There's no pressure, no rush. This is just what we've seen that's successful, and you asked. So that's
Yep.
kind of what we have seen not be successful is big, huge price tags on a course at the beginning, at the onset. Being a homeschooling family, I'm sure you can understand that. So if you set your
Yep.
16-week course up to be $600 without a subscription, right, or without a breakdown of that, the sticker shock can sometimes intimidate families. So
Right.
that's what we have noticed, because we have had a photography course and a writing course that did not lift, and I really believe it's because the price tag was too much. You want to have value to what you have, otherwise people won't invest. I totally get that.
Yep.
And
Yep.
it needs to be reachable for single income families.
Yep.
So that's kind of the dance, and you get to play with that. Like you can
Yeah.
advertise it. Well, that didn't work. So I'm going to try and drop the price here and make it reachable, or maybe I can break this down into a couple of weeks, see if it's easier if parents can pay $10 a week instead of, 500 up front, that kind of a thing. So it's all marketing, advertising, that we're just kind of sharing with you the gems that we found. But definitely, if you push it and advertise it, you're going to see more fruit from it. If your daughter's out there, um, on Facebook or Instagram, whatever her social media of choice is, and she can blast that out for you. Things like that help because it definitely blankets the market a bit
Yeah.
more and gets your word out. Because we're just here as a platform. We're not necessarily going out there and pushing all of the individual classes. We would get bogged down too quick, but we have it available, and we'll do like a kind of a list of, hey, come see us, check out our co-op exchange. This is what we offer. And if your class is up there, bonus. People are going to come through the traffic through our advertising just because we're already out there. Does that make
Right.
sense?
So, yeah. Is there
Okay.
any upfront cost for me to upload this onto your format
Nope.
platform.
Nope.
Nope.
It's
Not
And
just
if you
once the
offer it,
sale is made.
right. Yeah. And
That's
so if
what-
you offer it for free, 20% of free is free.
Right. Which is a huge bonus. And that's what we wanted to offer to people, is that way kids and parents and people are all benefiting and getting the habitual, that habit, that behavior of coming to the website. You know what I
Right.
mean? So that's kind of, we want to drum that up to make it, oh, let's go see what they have today. The more we can offer, the
So,
better in that buffet.
right. Are you posting now any free courses that are going to be available for the summer?
Yes.
Do you do
We're
that?
working. Yeah, we're actually working on that this week, getting them up,
All right.
listed up for over the summer.
3
Okay,
that
when
we're
are you going to
offering.
launch that? When are you going to launch that page?
As we get them up in the next 2 weeks.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So I think that gives reason why I'm doing this week is because we can at least get a few of the chapter. You get the book up and get a few of these things going this week.
Absolutely. That'd be great.
Or not this. I'll at least prepare.
Yeah.
And what I'll do, Bonnie, is, or whichever one you want me to do, I can send you the upgrade of what I've done. If that's
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
Or just
Sure, of course.
upload it onto this format. You guys will have liberty to look at it and go.
I was
from
going to
there.
say that'd probably be the easiest. If you just get it up,
Yeah.
that'd be the best. And then we'll
Yeah.
be able to see it.
Isn't it fun?
Yep. Then, yep. Sounds